every person on social media should be verified.
So Nikki Haley wants to cut away a key provision of the First Amendment, yet she thinks that she should be president. This is The Break. And folks, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like me and you like what we do here. If you're a freedom-loving patriot, then you'll be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and sign up to be a Daily Caller Patriot. Lots of great exclusives and access to some really great analysis pieces from my wonderful coworkers. So take a listen to what Nikki Haley had to say Tuesday on Fox News.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts, social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name. That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that, all of a sudden people have to stand by what they say, and it gets rid of the Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots. And then you're going to get some civility when people know their name is next to what they say.
Accountability.
And they know their pastor and their family member is going to see it. It's going to help our kids. And
so when you hear it the first time, you can probably understand what she meant, which is that, people will not be able to hide between a fake name if they're saying, vile or racist or dangerous things, like at Cornell, that student who said that Jews should be raped and beheaded. And yes, accountability would be great if it wasn't unconstitutional. Now look, sometimes not using your real name is about safety. Sometimes it's about privacy. Sometimes it's just about the right to free speech. Because look, these social media companies can track whomever they like. They do, right? We saw the anonymous Cornell student get in trouble. If someone is posting something that is dangerous or threatening, social media apps, they can work with authorities, right, to identify the user as best they can. Authorities have, IP addresses. But you know why Nikki Haley's suggestion is so dangerous and why I take this very personally? I know it's not because I'm a, poster. It's because the Federalist Papers, which are literally right behind me, they are a selection of writings that I quote at least once a week. They were published anonymously. Those writings, they criticize general authoritarian rule, right? They try to influence others to adopt the Constitution that we all have come to know and love, right? And so it was political persuasion, and it was risky for leaders at the time to do such a thing, okay? So they published them anonymously. And the Supreme Court has also ruled consistently that anonymous speech is free speech. Take Watkins versus United States, the NAACP versus Alabama, Bates versus Little Rock. These are all cases where the court ruled that the anonymity of members of controversial groups is protected under the First Amendment's right of association. Then the court goes on to rule in Talley v. California, McIntyre versus Ohio Elections Commission, Buckley versus American Constitutional Law Foundation, that the anonymity of people engaged in personal political activity like passing out flyers or making a petition is also protected. So basically, what Nikki Haley is telling you is that as president, in order to uphold her oath to protect and defend the Constitution, she's going to dismantle one of its key components by working with big tech companies who love to censor conservatives. They've done it nonstop for, 3 years now? Seems pretty presidential to me, right? Now, a huge ruling out of Michigan and a big victory for former President Donald Trump. So a Michigan judge ruled that Trump can stay on the state's primary ballot, and that challenges to remove him for allegedly inciting an insurrection under the 14th Amendment don't hold up. So the Michigan judge ruled that Trump followed state law and qualified for the primary, so he can't just be removed for not doing anything to break the state law. And then the court said that disqualifying Trump under the 14th Amendment is best to be left up to Congress, right? Not the court, or as the judge put it, not, quote, one single judicial officer. The ruling said that a single judge basically cannot embody the entire represented, nation the way that Congress does. And it's an important ruling here, as they all are, honestly, because this same challenge was also dismissed in Minnesota after the state Supreme Court ruled that putting Trump on the primary ballot is not the same as a general election ballot. So therefore, the allegations that, Trump incited insurrection under the 14th Amendment can't be on the ballot, they don't hold up. Now, the court did say you can come back when the general election's up, but we still have to take that case. But there is a Colorado case where a judge that has literally donated to an organization intent on targeting Trump and others who were present on January 6th is also hearing the same challenge. And what's scary is that this is a judge with well-known political affinities that are biased against Trump. And should she rule that Trump is disqualified, okay, after two other courts rule that he can't be, at least yet, then we know that she did it, one, for political purposes, and two, that she seems to believe that she wields a power that no one else thinks they have, but she somehow has the power to make Colorado a one-person state, right? Joe Biden. And I want to bring up a case. Now, it's not an American one, but it is one that pertains to what we spoke about yesterday. So remember how I said that, hate speech is free speech is accurate, it's dangerous to call speech hate speech because those who decide what is and isn't hate speech are just the louder, sometimes majority, sometimes minority opinions who have the control. So a Finnish court dismissed charges against a parliament member after she was accused of hate speech because, wait for it, she tweeted a Bible verse and questioning why her church, again, her church, was sponsoring a pride parade. Now, the crux of the question was, would the court force this woman to recant her beliefs? Because to some people who like to prop up mentally ill persons and legitimize their delusions, it was offensive and hateful and therefore was hate speech. The court ruled that no, they couldn't tell her what she could and could not believe, and they also can't tell her that she can or cannot express those beliefs. And so this is so much larger than just, a single case in Finland, right? It is dangerous to label any speech as hate speech because you hear that phrase and, I think the average person would think, well, saying something racist or anti-Semitic is hate speech, right? Or they're making a threat, that's hate speech. When in reality, hate speech could be as simple as a Bible verse. So that is the slippery slope that we're always on and that we always have to be vigilant about to make sure that, people's First Amendment rights, both domestically and internationally, aren't being infringed upon by a small minority that has these changing standards of, what's woman, what's a man, what's breastfeeding, what's chest feeding and menstruating, right? Because of the time we live in right now, we are obligated now more than ever to be on our toes at all times, right? To say, well, hey, that's not hate speech. That's a literal, disagreement with you. Because things like this could happen where you quote the Bible, you believe in your faith and you post it and you proudly share it, and suddenly that's hate speech. I mean, that is literally one of the reasons that, the United States sought independence from, England, right? We're living it again. It's just probably not going to come to a full-blown revolution. But that's a situation where not only in the United States, but worldwide. Folks, we will be right back here tomorrow with another episode of The Brink. So thanks all for tuning in.